everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. This is another one of our interviews. We're really excited to get to talk with one of the cast members of this season of Good Witch. We are talking with Gianpaolo Venuta. John, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
I'm glad to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so since this is the first time you coming on our show, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what inspired you to become an actor?
Oh,
Or no, a lot.
that's a tough question. It wasn't my intention to become an actor when I was young. I actually wanted to become a soccer player. I played soccer growing up, and I guess in high school I kind of realized that, growing up in Canada, that wasn't really going to work out. And I auditioned for Streetcar Named Desire, and not to play Stanley, to play Mitch, I think it was. The actor that got the role of Stanley Kowalski ended up bailing, and the director, who was also my one of my teachers, just pleaded with me to take on the role because she had no one else to cast. And that was my first foray into acting. And I guess I kind of, just being in front of an audience was so exhilarating. I didn't know what to expect, but I was kind of hooked after that.
Mm-hmm. So was that in high school?
So that was in that was in high school. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And then I went to I decided, okay, let's take this seriously. And I did a professional theater program for 3 years, much to the chagrin of my folks, who had hoped that I would go to, university, college. So yeah, did that for 3 years, and discovered a lot about myself. And then it was sort of baptism by fire. Got out of that and just got an agent. I was living in Montreal at the time, and was just thrown into auditioning for film and television.
Nice. And that seems like a really intense role for your first role.
Well, yeah, I would say that was my first amateur role. The first role that I actually got cast in was this short film, and I say short film. It was 37 minutes long, so
okay.
Not really a short film, but I guess
Barely.
it fell into that category. And it was the first thing I ever booked, and one of the first auditions I ever had. And the subject matter at the time, in I think it was 2000, and I think I was 19 when I got cast in it. It was about it's actually on YouTube. I ended up looking it up just to see if it was still there, and it is. Quality's kind of terrible, but it's about this chicken delivery boy, teenager, discovering his sexuality, and through through multiple interactions with this guy that he delivers chicken to. So you can imagine the subject matter. You can imagine, for my first role, taking on something like this, it was intense, and it was scary, but in the end, it ended up doing really well, and it ended up taking me to LA. I went to my first film festival. Took me to France. I thought, oh, this is how it's gonna be. This is so easy. Jet setting around the world, going to film festivals. But yeah, it's clearly not always like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was the first thing I ever got cast in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you just find it through your agent?
Yeah, I mean, you get an agent, and they throw a bunch of stuff up against the wall, and see what sticks. That's how it still is.
Mm-hmm.
You get submitted for roles, just like for Good Witch, you go in, you
Mhm.
audition, and then you hope you get it.
Yeah. When you first got your first role in like as a in a series, did you have that like freak out, like I can't believe that moment?
So first role in a series, what would that have been? I guess that was like Being Human. It's weird at the time. I remember with Being Human when I got it. And I don't, this might just be me and just being ignorant as to, the and it might be for the best, but this pressure that's put on you, like, and even though I wasn't part of the core cast, it was still a recurring character. But there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, and there are a lot of expectations, and I, for better or worse, didn't really get that, because
Hmm.
I guess I was naive. Um, because I had a lot of like early success, but the longer you do this, the longer you realize that there are ups and downs,
Yeah.
and nothing is a guarantee, you know
It's definitely a
um
marathon, not a sprint.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly.
So your bio on IMDb says that you play piano. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I are you do you like classical music?
Sure. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I played piano growing up. I don't know. My parents thought it was a good idea to put me in everything. So, I played hockey, played soccer, took piano lessons, swimming lessons, and I played
Hmm.
piano for like a good 12, 15 years, classically trained. And I have one now, but I don't, to be honest, I don't really play that much. It's
Well, the nice
hard.
thing about piano is you can play all different kinds of music.
Yeah, but the thing is that I never had the ear. I remember there was this on the musical side of the theater school I went to. There was this piano player who they'd bring in for all the musicals, and he could play things just by ear, and it was just so incredible because I had to read music. I wasn't able to, and he was he was taught differently. And and he was just talented. He just had that raw talent for being able to just hear something and be able to play it, which I was never able to do. But it's good to have something like that, because it's good, later on in life, that it's a good hobby to have, I guess, especially in this
Yeah.
day and age. But I have other hobbies that I prefer. I like making pizza.
Mm.
I've been making pizza for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
But
That was
like,
your quarantine coping mechanism.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Instead of bread, it's pizza.
Yeah. Very
And
good.
but like the Neapolitan style pizza, where you get like the Italian flour, and you let it
Mm.
ferment for 24 hours, and you have to cook it like at a really high temperature, and you have to get like the bufala mozzarella, and yeah. So there was a
Yum.
point where I was making like 4 pizzas a week.
So you like it simple, not with a ton of toppings.
Oh, yeah, I think my favorite is pizza margarita, like
Mm.
just the classic basil, tomato sauce, and cheese.
Nice. That sounds delicious. I'm getting
Yeah.
hungry now talking about it.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go make myself a pizza.
So, uh, when you got cast in Good Witch, what was that experience like? I mean, it's such a long running show between the movies and the series coming in. What was that like for you?
So it was not the first character I had auditioned for.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah. Well, because like you said, it had been around for years. So over the last prior to season 5, I think I had auditioned, 2 or 3 times. And I think I came close one time, and my a buddy of mine actually ended up booking the role instead. So I think when I went in for Vincent, I didn't really, just like with every audition, you try not to get too excited about a role, because the odds are you're not going to get it. Yeah, so that process is, it's you audition, and then I found out, okay, well, there's some interest. They're thinking about, you're in the running, you're in the mix. So that's sort of the lingo. And then you just wait, you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And yeah, I was super super excited, obviously, to get the role, because he sounded so cool, like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was awesome.
That's really cool. And it seems like it would be a really fun group of people to work with and shoot with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thing is, you never know what you're going to get. You like I've you can get onto a show, a movie, where the energy is just really bad, and for whatever reason, it could be that they're constantly shooting overtime. They're tired, they're exhausted, people aren't getting along. um so you never know what you're going to get. But yeah, with this, it was it was so easy to just sort of come into things and sort of be accepted.
Mhm.
And I think that's in part because of the main cast, and it's a well-oiled machine, right?
Yeah.
Like, they've been doing it for so long now that it takes care of itself. So that's I guess one of the downsides to that is, you come into something that already exists, and that could be nerve-wracking, because you don't fit in, which was kind of okay for the character, um, to not fit in, to not be a part of the core group.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, I couldn't have been happier when
Cool.
show to be on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we really liked Vincent. We were big fans. We liked him a lot better than Adam. We were Team Vincent.
Not everyone
We
though.
were on a podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Podcast. And so we were when they kind of it seemed like they'd kind of written you off and had you
Yeah.
go away. And so
Yeah.
when you came back this season, we were so happy and we are very excited about that.
Yeah. Well, I was excited about that as well. I guess at the end of season 6. Yeah, so like I wasn't in season 6, and they sort of got in touch at the end of season 6, and we're discussing a storyline that would have happened, I guess, in the second part of season 6, and that ended up falling through. And so I'd kind of sort of given up hope on it. And then it was a complete surprise when I was told that they would be bringing him back for season 7. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, no spoilers, but how do you feel about his story this season? You think it's a fun story?
Well, yeah, I mean, when I read the first couple of episodes, yeah, I thought it was really touching. um and Vincent seems to be he's getting older, and it seems like he's searching for meaning in life, and he's kind of been unlucky in love. And I don't know, it really resonated with me when he decided to try and find his birth mother, although that storyline sort of got cut off. Not to say that it won't come back in the future, but no, I really, it was exciting to be a part of, and to see where things go with it.
Hmm. Yeah, we're really excited to see. So, do you have a favorite actor on Good Witch to run scenes with? Have scenes with?
Oh, wow. Okay. I better be hmm. Well, you know what? I I don't want to say did you say favorite? Do I have a favorite?
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you that one. I'm
Okay.
not going to give I'm not going to give you a favorite. But I will say that I like I like working with different actors for different reasons. So,
Hmm.
take Catherine Bell. she's a pro, but she's really warm. And you could tell, I guess, being the lead of a show like this, she's got a lot going on throughout the day, right? But if I ever needed anything from her, like in a scene, she was always there. So in that respect, she was my favorite. But then, like Catherine Disher is the funniest human being that you could want to work with.
We love her so much. She's been on our show
my-
six times.
Oh, she had. Oh, so you know
Yeah.
how funny she is.
Yeah.
It's incredible. She, yeah. Her sense of humor is quite something, and she always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh. Who else? Who else is there? I mean, I got to give a shout out to James Denton. He's a wealth of information. I mean, the guy he's always got a book on set, and not to say that he uses the book as an excuse not to talk to people. It's actually quite the opposite. He's always so engaged in whatever it is he's reading. So like he always wants to share information and like start a dialogue about like whatever is going on. So he's great to work with because he just makes the day go by so quickly.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah, it must be nice since you have to have that chemistry with Catherine Bell, and since you're siblings, that having her be so easy to work with, that must make it easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's a joy. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about her.
So did you see Vincent being like a secret, getting the Merrywick powers, having some supernatural? Because they've been embracing that more this season than in other seasons.
Yeah, but don't they share the same bloodline?
Yeah, you'd have to secretly be a Merrywick somehow, I think.
Yeah. Or like maybe if they did like what they should do is like a Good Witch like vampire crossover. That would be cool. I'd love to see Catherine Bell as a vampire. I feel like that'd be pretty like a nice vampire though.
Right. Yeah, the like vegetarian ones.
Yeah.
Like Twilight.
Boring.
We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
So why do you think that Good Witch has lasted as long as it has? What do you think is the secret sauce of the show?
Oh, I feel like you're more qualified to answer that question than I am. But yeah, I guess just it's like a warm blanket, it's something you it's a distraction from real life, just like all good television is, right? Like the characters are familiar, and I guess it boils down to like just the cast being so good, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. I think it's charming. I think it's a charming show with good characters. Particularly Mayor Martha is our favorite.
Yeah, she's secretly my favorite.
We always want more Mayor Martha scenes, and they just create the whole town of Middleton, and kind of remind you of other other shows that have iconic towns like Stars Hollow and Gilmore Girls, or that kind of a thing, Mayberry, and I think that is very appealing.
Yeah. So everything that you just said.
Yeah, and and Catherine Bell is such a pro, so yeah, I think that makes it work.
Were you a fan of Jag?
Yeah, Jag and Army Wives. I really liked her on that.
Right.
She was on that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we like to end with some fun, silly questions. So,
all right, go ahead.
Not that the previous questions haven't also been silly, but here we go. First question: what is the best ice cream flavor?
Pistachio.
Okay, good. That's good. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay. What music are you into right now?
What music am I into right now? So I'm listening to like old country music, like Willie Nelson, like John Denver, John Prine. I'd never heard. Do you know? Have you ever heard of John Prine?
I haven't heard John Prine. No, I've heard of John Denver, of course.
Okay, well, John Prine. I discovered him last year, and he was in his 70s. Anyways, I discovered him last year during like this COVID outbreak, and he ended up dying of COVID like a month after I'd just been playing his music incessantly. So such a sad story. So him, John Denver, Willie Nelson, like I said. Yeah.
I forgot to ask you, what was it like shooting the season in COVID? Was that kind of surreal? With all the shields and masks and everything?
Yeah. I'd like to say, I mean, you get used to it, obviously, right? But it's not fun. It's not fun. But like they were, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I feel like the lights, we could see the light at the end of the tunnel with this, but it's not the first, and it won't be the last production to have these regulations in place, justifiably. But it's, it just makes it a little less fun. I would say. Yeah.
You feel safe though?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I've worked on like a bunch of different projects, and Good Witch was the one that I felt was took it the most seriously. That's good. That there's a lot at stake, but I felt super safe.
Good. Well, our next question, we used to go to date night activity, but we used to go to date night food, but lately, since people aren't going on dates anymore, now we've been saying, what would be your DoorDash order or your Uber Eats or whatever?
Okay, my Uber Eats order.
What do they have in Canada?
Well, so I'm not cooking for myself, right? So because I would say pizza. I would like night. I would say like the day before I'd start making my pizza. But if we have everything that you guys have. So I don't know. I think I might go for, in the winter, I'd go for Indian food. Like a nice like tikka masala, butter chicken with a bunch of naan bread. Oh my God, so good. And in the summer I'd go for sushi.
Wow, they're good choices. Very good.
Thanks.
All right. What would be your favorite, when we're back to going outside again? What would be your favorite go-to date night activity outside?
Oh, going for ice cream?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. You can get your pistachio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a good like low pressure date because.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is the date with is it a first date? Is it just, is it a date with my girlfriend?
Yeah.
How much pressures, do we put on this date? Like,
yeah, because the thing we always say in this podcast is the dinner and a movie date, it's risky. So what you should do is you should do movie and then dinner, and then you can talk about the movie at dinner.
Oh, so you're reverse engineering the date. So movie. Moving. That's pretty good. I like that.
But ice cream is good. It's like the equivalent of kind of a just getting drinks kind of date. Like when you just want to get a flavor of who this person is. Don't want to have a commit to an entire evening.
Yeah, or you make the decision when you meet them, and if because you know right away, right? So if you think you might not be into it, you say ice cream.
Yeah. Well, you could do the same thing with the movie. Like if you're just not feeling it while you're watching the movie, if he's a little weird, he or she, and then you can just be like, that was great.
Let's get some fast food and discuss it outside.
All right, let's end the evening. Something came up.
You should write a book about this.
All right. Well, what would you prefer, dogs or cats?
Well, I have 2 cats, so I think if I said dogs, I'd get into a lot of trouble. Yeah, definitely cats. I mean, I love dogs, but there's so much work. Not that cats aren't a lot of work, but it's a different kind of work, Yeah. So cats definitely.
We don't get that many cat answers, so it's good.
Really?
One in their team, yeah.
Are you surprised by my cat answer?
No, I'm not surprised, but we get way more people that are team dogs, which is too bad because cats are sweet as well.
I know.
Yeah, so good. That's good.
I love
All right, which is your favorite, beaches or mountains?
Well, if you go to Hawaii, you can have both.
Which island do you like?
Oahu. It's the only island I've been to, but I went a couple of years ago, I think 2019. It literally, I still dream about Hawaii. I've never been to anywhere else in the world like that. And I would love to go back.
Yeah.
But beaches.
I love Hawaii
beaches.
too. Yeah, North Shore.
Yeah. Oh, the food.
I haven't been there since 2011.
So you went. Yeah.
I did, 2011. I went and I just love everything about it except for the cockroaches. That's the only thing I don't like about Hawaii.
Whoa, I didn't see any cockroaches.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, wow.
And we were staying in like a 1-star hotel. And I did not see a cockroach.
Oh, maybe it deserves more stars.
What do you mean? Hawaii's known for their cockroaches?
Oh yeah, all over. Yeah. Well, any place that's tropical like that will have bugs.
So when I was in LA, so I used to go to LA for pilot season, and I would stay at this hotel, where you rent a room by the month,
right,
called the Highland Gardens Hotel.
Ooh.
And it's actually got quite a history. So that's Janis Joplin OD'd at that hotel. Brad Pitt was a pool boy at one point.
Wow.
Yeah, it's on Franklin Boulevard in Hollywood. But so one of the first years that I ended up staying there, you go for pilot season, right? So between like the January and March, that's when they're casting all the new shows, and you go in there. I had a really good agent, so just go there and you go on auditions every day, like driving all over the city for really big stuff. It was so much fun. But the cockroaches there were like, I'd say at least 1.5 inches long.
Oh my gosh.
Massive, like the size of like small mice.
Oh my gosh.
But turns out, though, the big cockroaches are not I guess they're all bad, but they're not the ones that can infest a home really quickly. It's the small ones. It's the small cockroaches that you have to be careful of. So which cockroaches were in Hawaii?
They were pretty on the bigger side, so I guess that's good. That's okay.
You're fine.
But yeah, it's my grandparents when they were living actually had a home on Oahu, and
wow.
yeah, I know, and it was amazing. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I love they on the North Shore. Absolutely love everything about it. Going surfing. And,
what was that town? Did you go to what was that shrimp?
Oliva?
No, Gianni or Giovanni's shrimp.
Oh yeah, the shrimp trucks.
The shrimp trucks in the North Shore.
Yeah. When you have to get shaved ice.
Yeah.
and Masimoto's. Mhm.
Yeah, Masimoto's
Best.
exactly.
With sweet, I always get tiger's blood, and which is all the
Oh, I
red
didn't try that
flavors
one.
together,
I didn't get
and
that
then
one.
have a sweet and condensed milk on top.
Oh my goodness.
So good.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you're really making me hungry.
I know the food there. Wow.
Oh,
You
it is the best food. Ted's Bakery right on the North Shore is the best. Oh, we could talk. I could have a whole podcast just on
you should.
Oahu.
Yeah.
All right. Well, which would you pick, suit and tie or sweats?
Well, I guess sweats. I mean,
Yeah.
I look pretty. I can look pretty good in a suit, but I mean, sweats. Definitely
I
sweats.
feel like a lot of us are sort of thinking about suit and tie though now after being quarantined for over a year. It's like the idea of going out and like doing stuff is very appealing.
I know. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, like, I don't. There aren't really many opportunities for me to wear a suit unless it's for an audition. So, yeah, I
Mhm.
don't wear as many suits as I would like.
Yeah.
Maybe I should become a lawyer. Wear a lot of suits.
You sure need more lawyers, right? No.
Yeah.
Just kidding. All right. Well, what is your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Christmas. Christmas,
Okay.
without a doubt. Yeah.
It's hard to beat Christmas.
Yeah, it's when
Right.
everybody gets together. Thanksgiving is actually really big in the States, right? Would you say it's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
it's on par with Christmas?
well, it doesn't have like the gift giving component of Christmas, and it's not like it's just a day. It's not like a season,
Right.
you know. So it's not quite as big a deal, but it's definitely probably the biggest food holiday. Is
Aha.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Your guys' is in October, right?
Yes, we have a different Thanksgiving. I
Yeah.
always get confused between the two. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you know.
Yeah, so definitely Christmas because that's when I see because
Yeah.
families all spread out all over the place, right? So it's the one time that everybody gets together.
Is your family still in Montreal?
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
parents are. I haven't seen my parents since it's close to a year since I've seen my parents because of
Yeah.
lockdown. It's the longest I've ever gone without seeing them. It's terrible. I hate it.
Yeah, I just came back from a visit with my sister's first time I've been on a plane since 2019, but I hadn't seen her since then.
Wow.
And so that was really great. My sister and my nieces. And
Where's she?
she's in Virginia and I'm in Utah, so across the country.
How was that?
It was really nice. Yeah, it was. We didn't do a whole lot as far as touristing, but it was
Oh,
nice just to be together. And
I'm sure.
that was the whole point of the trip. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it was great. And I think you just need to, at least I needed to just rip that Band-Aid off as far as travel and just do it. And because the more you think about it, the more scary it seems. But
what component of the travel?
the flying and being such close
to
quarters
people,
with so many
right.
other people, and but it's safe and I'm vaccinated, and so you just got to do it. And I think then you're reassured. So I think the next one I'll be even more confident.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm ready to go.
Mhm.
My bags are packed.
Yeah. All right. Last question. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
Well, I was in a Hallmark movie called The Christmas Festival of Ice, so that's
Yeah,
gonna be
Taylor Cole.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Have you
We
had
love her.
her on the show?
Yes, we have. We've interviewed her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, love her.
She's awesome. But I guess like all-time favorite comedy, which is actually one of the first films I'd ever seen, is When Harry Met Sally.
Mhm.
And I still think it holds up to this day.
Yeah.
And if they ever try to remake it, I will be very upset.
You can't beat a Nora Ephron script. She was the best.
She was, yeah.
Her scripts were so good.
Yeah.
And there was obviously a lot of ad-libbing too in that. I mean, Billy Crystal, obviously.
He's a genius.
Mhm.
Genius. Yeah. It was either that or Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, Nora Ephron again.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Exactly.
very good. All right, you passed the test. You answered all the questions.
Awesome. A+ for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get an ice cream.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you so much. I would really appreciate you talking with us and us getting to know you. And we'll be excited to follow Vincent throughout this season. And I don't know, do you have social media or anything like that you want to share?
Yeah, I have Instagram. I think my handle is Noob on the Tube. NOOB.
All right, we'll have that in the description. Make sure you all are following. And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. And also make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. If you're listening on iTunes, please leave us your ratings and reviews. And if you are listening on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon and merch stores. Check that out. And thanks again so much. And hopefully we'll talk to you again at another time, maybe at the end of the season. That would be a lot of fun.
It's been a pleasure, Rachel. That was a lot of fun.
Okay. Bye, everyone.